Hello? Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? I think you guys can now. There you go. There you go. You should be here. Ah, there you go. You guys are listening now. All right, let's. Why don't we redo this? Why don't we redo this? I have guests today. I hope they don't think that this is messed up. So hopefully they are not back yet and they will not notice. So hold on. Here we go. We are back. We are back. So let's try this again. Honk, honk, sky kids, and welcome to another TGC stream where things happen and it's okay because that's life and you guys are forgiven and you guys are the best community in gaming ever. Thank you so much. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. How are you guys doing today? You guys doing okay? Salve Starly. There we go. Thank you. Kizaki on YouTube. Zine on YouTube. Jean Twin. Thank you for joining. Sterling Ivy on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Jacqueline O on Instagram. Not Megan. Thank you for joining us today. And finally on TikTok. Pretzel3. Saki. Jesse Oj. Is it Oj? Ohio, Jesse Oj. Thank you so much for being here with us. Sophia DSA, Sa? I have questions about this season. I'm happy that you do because very soon, very soon, before we make a few announcements, we will have two of the sweetest TGC developers, and I am not even kidding you guys. I absolutely love these two people. I have had the chance of meeting them IRL. I have had the chance of playing their indie games, their own games, and it was such a blast. And we'll be talking about Season of the Bluebird soon. So please save that question for the next 3 minutes, give or take. Something like that. I don't know. I can't count. I'm just a crab. Miss Nuring, hello, I am great, thank you. Hey you guys, since we are spread all over the place, we're on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. I almost missed you guys Instagram. Would you ever forgive me if I have done that? Hopefully. But here you go, you guys can follow us across all of these social medias that you see on your screen. And again, the best Discord server you could ever find, the Skycord. Might as well go there, right, you guys? It's a place where like-minded people get together, where people are able to find candle running partners, where people are able to just be themselves. And we all know how difficult it is to be ourselves at this day and age. But I want to challenge you. Never be afraid of being exactly who you are, because that's what the world needs. Till, how many more updates are you going to do? I'm TT Creeper. I'm not sure I understand the question. Hopefully many, since we don't see Sky going anywhere, and there is always new content to be placed in the game. So hopefully many. I'm enjoying the new season of the Bluebird Cash Show. Let me tell you, so am I. I was missing a story-driven season in Sky, and that's what made Sky what it is, right? It was seasons like The Little Prince. It was seasons like Season of Remembrance. It was seasons like Season of the Bluebird. Hence, why we wanted to come here and hang out with you guys and bring these people to tell you a little bit about that season. So just hang with us for a little bit longer. We are waiting for other people to join, and as they do, you guys know the drill, right? There is a little thing that I really enjoy doing for you. Is anybody here celebrating their birthdays? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Is anybody celebrating their birthdays this week? Because as you guys know, we would love to celebrate your birthday with you. So happy birthday, whether it has passed recently, whether it's coming up within the next couple of days. Just know that your life is very much precious. Just know that your soul is exactly what this world needs, and please do not let anybody tell you otherwise, because you are the light that this world needs. Or at least you're the light that I need. Heck, those caves in Sanctuary can be dark sometimes. Oh, Crystal Kimbrow. My birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday. Hey, chat. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube or Twitch or wherever. Can you guys put a little candle and a little heart to our friend here celebrating her birthday yesterday? Crystal Kimbrow, thank you so much for sharing. And I hope you had a really good birthday. I hope that this stream can make your birthday a little bit brighter and that you feel loved and that you feel that, you have friends you can relay onto. All right, guys. It's time. It's time for us to start talking about Season of the Bluebird. But in the meanwhile, I'd like to ask you to wait just a little bit because I really want to watch the trailer with you guys. And as you can see, the recording is in progress, if you guys heard that. So we will be recording all of this. But before we jump into that, let's take a look into the trailer of Season of the Bluebird. Season of the Bluebird, everybody. It's such a beautiful season. And to make such a beautiful season, I guess we need beautiful people. Joey and Luke hanging out with us, the developers of Season of the Bluebird. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey Theo. Hey Joey. Doing good.
Let me just play some music here for us. Here we go. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's start talking about the season, right? Before we go into the making of Season of the Bluebird, at what moment each of you guys realized that, and what is the one thing that made you say, this is the soul of the Season of the Bluebird? Starting with Joey, please.
Yeah. Hello guys. I'm Joey. I work on Sky as a Vista artist. So yeah, I worked on the season Bluebird, like of Vista concepts and particularly cosmetics environment for this season. Um, Back to Theo's question, I think the moment I realized this is the soul of the season of Bluebird, it's when like Luke and the design team figured out the first like structure, the quest for the Hirtaso team, which is the first quest. And we really appreciate the storytelling direction of that first quest. Like trying to gather the blue feathers and you catch only blue feathers, but try to chase the bluebird, but at the end, it's not what you expect it to be. We really appreciate the story unfolding that way. And I think that's the moment that we feel like, oh, maybe we can use these like storytelling to other stories too. Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah,
Luke?
yeah.
What was the one thing that made you say, this is the soul? That's what I wanted this season to be. And with you guys, Luke, senior technical game designer at TGC and lead designer for this season.
Yes. Thanks, Tio, and thanks so much for having us too. By the way, these streams are like such a joy and a gift, and yeah, honored to be here with you and with all of you. Thanks so much for watching. That's a great question. The soul. When did we find the soul of the season? I'll flip it back. I have two answers real quick. I'll flip it back around to Joey, and just say that there was some early viz dev, particularly of Grandma and Boogie Kid. I, and I think often early in a season, we'll have kind of exploratory pieces of art where the spirit ensemble comes together. And often those pieces of viz dev like define so much. We'll find one or two of those pieces that like really speak to the tone of what we're trying to make. And we'll kind of like pin them up everywhere and use them as our backgrounds and stuff as like a kind of guiding like emotional center. And then the other thing real quick is there was a super talented designer working on this season named Abe that I worked really closely with, who from the very beginning was building prototypes for the finale. And no spoilers, but like we've been working on that for a long time now. And I think there was a moment early on working on some gameplay prototypes of that where we were like, oh yeah, we can make a season around this, right?
That's awesome. In terms of game development, Luke and Joey, there are a lot of Sky Kids here who are young and they dream of a career in game development, right? So how soon into making a season for Sky does design and concept art sit down and decide which direction to take that season towards?
Luke, do you want to answer? We have the,
Sure.
we
Yeah.
have
So
the
I think the question is like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the question is like, how early do design and viz dev get together in terms of kind of putting our heads together and trying to define what a season's going to be? And the answer is that that's absolutely the first thing that happens. Usually, like there's a pitch development phase where design and viz dev and some engineers, but we keep that team quite small for that phase and really like workshop things with Genova. But yeah, often kind of the very first things that happen are like design, making prototypes, and viz dev making exploratory concept art and sort of trying to triangulate something together.
That's awesome. There's a comment here. Let me find it here from Bubba Bean on Twitch. They say, "I think we're chasing happiness. The bluebird represents that for each of those spirits that we're talking." Without any spoilers, Luke, do you think that this person is onto something? Do you think our friend is in the right direction?
I do. I think that I think that yeah. That's nice. One thing, I think we'll probably talk about this later, but like one thing that I'd like to say about this season is we're really I think it's a season about asking questions more than it is particularly about us like very having some kind of like teacherly didactic answer to those questions for you. But I think those are the right questions to be asking. And I love it.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. There are people here saying, "I love your game. Thank you for making this." So hopefully that warms up your heart a little bit just to see how well received this season was. Joey, what was the emotional or the visual spark that first led you to create the concept or the visual concept, anyways, for the season? What was the one thing that the light bulb went up and you said, "Aha, I got this"? What was that?
Yeah, I think the first cosmetic or like the look of the whole like cosmetics, the first one that we decided on is actually the cape from the widescreen parent. That cape is actually what set the tone for the rest of the cosmetics. We really like the silver trims as like a decorative like element for the cape, and we feel like the silver trims like create a really like theatrical feel to the cosmetics. So that's why we decided to like carry these like decorative trims throughout the whole like lineup. Yeah, so I think that particular piece is what set the vibe and tone of the cosmetics. And also for seasonal belongings, the past season we have like yellow pattern like throughout and goldish pattern throughout the cosmetics, and we feel like to contrast that, making a silver like version of the old like spirits would be a good like tone and direction to go forward for this season. Yeah.
That's awesome. In fact, I'm gonna be flashing some of the concept arts that hopefully people here. Oops, sorry guys. Let me adjust the camera here real quick. That that Joey created, so you guys can take a look to what it looked like originally, because things change, right? Things develop further as they design these things. And while I flash these concept arts, uh, oops, it didn't show for our friends on TikTok. Let me do that manually. Here we go. Luke, you guys said that you guys meet super early, right? Like, oh, we have the concept and we're going this direction, right? So when Joey came in with the first visual concepts of the season to you, right? How does that influence the direction for the narrative, the gameplay, or any other technical choices that your team has to make?
Yeah. Um, so when design and VizDev are first meeting and like throwing things across the volleyball net to each other, trying to inspire each other and towards it. I don't know why we're playing volleyball. But um, but I think there's like so many moments where even like things you might not expect kind of catch or are the thing that people find that they can grab onto and run with. I think a good example of that is that like early on, we try to explore really wide. And so there were all kinds of ways this season we thought the season might have looked. At one point we like turned everything blue and that wasn't good. But we were like playing with a bunch of different ideas. And I think at one point, Joey, I can't remember exactly where this came from, but there was some concept with some like spotlights in it. And that obviously, those of you who have played the first couple of quests, you'll know that like those are a really important visual anchor for the season. And those very much came like they were sort of in the background or a kind of secondary idea that then really became a thing that was like both inspiring in terms of helping us embrace the like more theatrical visuals of the season, and they became a real design anchor of like how are we going to kind of visually and mechanically do the gameplay and the storytelling of the season, where how our players going to know where to go. Well, these are we're kind of in this theater world, and we're going to use spotlights to show you what's important and dress up these places.
That's fantastic answers. Thank you so much, Luke. And going back to Joey, right? Because as I'm flashing these concept arts, the design language, if there is such a thing, right? Like the visuals for this season are so unique. When I was playing on the live version, it's so bright, right? Like the darkness really contrasts with the very little spotlights that we see, and that's really interesting. Were there any specific environments, films, fairy tales, stories that inspired that visual direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for showing the concepts. First, for this stuff, it's not a like one person like effort. It's not only me. So like, beside me, it's like B also worked on this, and also Miho, Ding, and Dark Dog. We have a lot of like this stuff artists, putting their effort and their ideas onto this. So yeah, back to the inspiration for this season. Because Bluebird has been a really famous play for a long time, and there are many like movie adaptations of the Bluebird. So we look into the movies as an early influence, but later on we are especially like draw inspirations from like Art Nouveau designs. We feel like the creative like qualities of the era really like align beautifully with the direction the like theatrical direction that we're going forward. So that's why throughout the cosmetics, you might notice that there are like whiplash lines and like curves throughout the designs. So yeah, that's why, because we're taking a bit of inspiration from the Art Nouveau era for this season. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Super
In
quick.
fact, yes, go ahead.
Super quick. I just want to also shout out Yui and Zheng Yi, just other awesome Viz Dev artists on the team. I like doing shout outs, and it takes so many people to make these, right? Yeah, just want to make sure their names are in there too.
Yeah, people are calling out on the fan art here too. They're saying this is absolutely stunning. I love this season. It's so beautiful. The cosmetics are so cool this season. Galaxy capes for the win. And there is actually, Luke, a question that I think you can address from the chat. Were there any character? Oh, that I guess that's for Joey. So Joey, were there any character designs that got scrapped and you wish had made to the final cut? And to Luke, what inspired the choice to reuse some spirits and invite them into the new story?
You
Yeah.
first.
Okay. For characters, we at first we drew like a bunch of like baby grandma version to be the quest giver, the spirit. So we wanna explore the story that perhaps it's about a story of the baby version of the grandma. But eventually we choose to not introduce a new character because we wanna say like keep a story within the original cast. So that's the the one character that didn't get in. Yeah. Luke.
Yeah. So I think the other question from chat was about like why bring back spirits from seasonal belonging, basically. And I think for me, I would love to know, Joey, how you feel about this too. For me, there's so many awesome spirits in Sky and characters, like, and it is really exciting when I've gotten to work on projects where we get to introduce new characters to Sky. That's always really fun to do that kind of dreaming. But like there's so many really evocative and interesting characters in the world of Sky that we often only know like one or two things about, really. And so I think actually this time around, I was like really excited to get to bring some characters that I really love back and get to like you know, turn them so that you get to see like a little different facet of their lives and their personalities. And also like every time we I think in particular getting to bring spirits back from earlier days of Sky, we have a lot more ability to like give players more personal interactions with spirits now. And so getting to like handhold them or spend time with them in a different way, that feels like felt like a real opportunity that was both can be exciting, but I was really excited to get to explore more with the belonging spirits.
That's awesome. There is a very unique quality to this season, right? Like it's a unique hub where you find those spirits. There are theatrical elements, the spotlights. How does having to create new ways of telling a story impact the creation of a season? It has to make everything a little bit more difficult, right?
I think, Tio, I'm so sorry. Will you actually ask that question one more time? I think I didn't quite follow.
Sure. So this season has very different things from what we usually have, right? Like the new hub and the lighting and the whole theatrical aspects of it almost
right
are really interesting. So and they're pretty unique. So my question to you is, when game designers, right, or you specifically for this season, when you challenge yourself or are challenged to come up with different ways of telling a story, how does that impact your workflow or your team's workflow to be able to introduce new things and still be able to grant the emotional response that you want from players?
Yeah. Okay, I see. That's an awesome. So I think that question, it like goes totally different ways on different seasons, but specifically for the Bluebird season, one of the cool constraints we had right off the bat was like we knew we wanted to make a really narrative forward and like story first season. And part of what let us do that was we decided not to do a season this time where we introduced like brand new systems or like a ton of new tech. And what that meant was we got to spend a lot of time thinking about like what are some really core elements of Sky, um, whether it be like a place, a level that we're really familiar with, or a piece of gameplay like spirit memories or candles that you might interact with every day or every week or like pretty regularly that we can twist or turn in some like unique or novel way and give you a kind of new experience of that quite familiar thing. Um, and I think that actually, like, that came from partly a constraint of like wanting to do a season that didn't introduce a bunch of new tech, but it also very much like uh, melded with the story we were trying to tell as an approach. So I think often like those kinds of constraints are what not just what make it fun, but what end up making the project what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Joey, if you had to pick one feeling or one word, if you will, that defines this season, what would it be and why would that be that word or feeling?
Hmm, interesting. I think it's gonna be like poetic. I feel like this season it's really poetic. It's like reading a poem. I feel like Luke and Abe, they pace the story really well. It's like reading a poem, but you have your own interpretations, and your feelings are influenced by your own experience of life. So I feel like, yeah, I will say it's poetic. It's a poetic season for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Chuck's artwork on TikTok says this season makes me want to cry, but it's so good, and that's what poetry does, right? Like it makes us feel things, and whether are sad feelings, whether they are happy feelings, we are just fully involved within that season. But now,
Mhm.
look, I have a tricky question to you, right? I want you to answer based off of Joey's response. Poetic
Hmm. Hmm.
is the one
Hmm.
word that she thinks that the whole season is represented by. How do you represent poetry through gameplay mechanic?
Yeah. Awesome question. Awesome question. Like it's such a TGC question too, right? I feel like this is
It
like
really is.
that actually is kind of what we're always trying to ask ourselves. But I think in particular on the Bluebird, like um there's all kinds of types of poetry. I think maybe there's a particular kind of poetry we were interested in, which is like a kind of fairy tale structure. And I think the the poetry of the season for me is like uh definitely expressed in the kind of gameplay rhythms. I think Joey mentioned like pacing. That's something we thought a lot about in terms of like how do you make a set of quests that sort of rhyme with each other or
Mm.
have elements where like um, the more of them you play, the more they all are kind of enriching each other. Um, and I think those are all, I guess, like structural kind of poetic qualities that we tried to bring to the season.
That's awesome. Guys, I would like to bring back the idea of the return of Season of Belonging spirits to this season. They are familiar, right? And there is something very TGC like, as Luke said, about that nostalgia, about bringing those old sentiments that we experienced with those streams, with those spirits back in the day. But how do we keep that refreshing, right? How are we able to use that nostalgia and still offer something completely new?
Yeah, for I think Luke, we're gonna like tell more about the story aspect of how we interpret the old spirits. Uh, but for the visual aspect, we want to like make sure like we still can recognize these spirits. Uh, oh, when we see them, we know, oh, they're from like seasonal belongings. They're back. They're like maybe putting up a play for us. So to achieve like they are still recognizable to players and Sky Kids, we want to like keep their facial like features as familiar as possible. So when we look at oh maybe widespread impair, we know the tall hat is still there, the face is the same. So that means that we want to like retain their like original hairstyles, but perhaps like give a fresh twist to the accessories, so they still feel like uh, there's a new take, but we still can know they're from seasonal villains.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think actually that's an awesome answer, Joey. And I feel like that narratively it's like a very similar approach. Like the season of belonging was a season um family and about coming together as a family, and I think some of the kind of the core like themes and soul of those characters and what they represent from their first season, we really felt resonated with what we were trying to do with this season. So part of it is like choosing those characters because they're they fit very well, and there's like a kind of deepening or almost retelling of some of that, but then the so that's maybe to answer like how do you make sure to like hold that nostalgia and care for that nostalgia that like players have for these characters and we have for these characters. And then in terms of how to keep it fresh, I think it's like that we get to answer that question a little bit differently for each character, but overall the approach is like we know that Boogie Kid isn't just going to still be boogieing, or right, like that we know some things about Playful Parent has a certain relationship to the creatures of Sky, like let's not just like you could imagine a world where it's like Playful Parent is crabs, all about crabs, all crabs all the time, but like maybe there's a way to actually kind of twist that, or make it a little bit more complex or rich, like thinking through what his relationship with those creatures is.
That's awesome. Clive the Gosh on TikTok says, I like how revisiting spirits with an upgraded cosmetics is reminiscent of how we grow as Sky Kids as well.
Mm,
So, that
nice.
there's a little parallel going on. Luke, a question to you, right? One of my favorite YouTubers described video games as something closer to a miracle, right? It's something that revolves around
Yeah.
science and technology and art and design. Was there any moment that had you at the edge of your seat, like unsure whether the team could pull it off? And then at the end, of course, the pieces fit. But was there a moment that you can share with us that had you on your toes?
Yeah, absolutely. Game development is a miracle. I really feel that way too. That's a lovely way to put it. As far as like a moment that had me on the edge of my seat for whether the team could pull it off, I think. Oh, sorry, there's a very loud car outside my window. I hope you
It's
couldn't
all
hear
good.
that.
It didn't come
Okay.
through.
Okay, good. Yeah, in terms of like a moment where I was sort of on the edge of my seat, wondering whether the team could pull it off, I think we at TGC we're always trying to push ourselves to like make something like right at the edge of what we can make technically and as storytellers and as designers. So we kind of try to live on that edge of our seats a little bit. It like keeps the process interesting. I will say I do have a particular memory of this, which was the second fetch quest, and I don't know if everybody has played it yet, so I won't spoil it. But we tried a lot of different ways to we knew what we wanted that quest to do, in terms of the story it was going to tell and the emotions we wanted to bring out of it, and we tried a lot of different ways to get that. And as any of you who have tried to make games or just make art that means something, probably know like that process can be really sometimes it comes easy and sometimes it's just like takes so much iteration, and so we play tested and like um, that there were some moments where we were like, are we ever gonna figure out how to make this work? And eventually we did kind of happen upon this idea about a very unique way to twist the spirit memories, that felt like it finally, we once we had that and we all looked at it together, we were like, oh yes, this is the thing we've been trying to do this whole time, and that really like unlocked it. But there were times when it felt like we weren't gonna find it.
And Joey, I guess the same question to you. We are showing again some of the concept art for people who just got here. And Joey was very involved in a lot of this concept art, you guys. So, was there any sketch or an idea that completely evolved to something brand new to the original idea through that process?
Yeah, so first we're like discussing which set of spirits we're gonna like take back. So in the early stages, we considered bringing back spirits from the season of prophecy. So each spirit will be like guiding players through a journey to explore the answer of the bluebird. But eventually we decided to choose spirits from season belongings because we wanted the focus to be on like healing the family and finding the answer of healing or helping the family, rather than like framing the each class or experience as like the spirit setting you on a trail, a challenge to find the answer. So yeah, so that's the one I sort of right now. It's yeah, we sort of bring back season of prophecy spirits.
uh, we are talking about, or we spoke about a little bit earlier about the how to make poetry into game mechanics, right? Can we talk just about gaming, creating games in general, right? How do you find the balance between making something emotionally impactful and yet respecting the player's ability to not be overwhelmed by chasing something, catching a bird, different challenges that we need to have a game, and be able to fully immerse themselves into the emotional pieces.
Yeah, I think this mostly it's a book question, but as a Sky Kid myself, I feel like poems remain like open to interpretation, and uh we as like TGC, we don't like put on too many like force too many emotions that we feel like you need to feel throughout playing this season. It's like open to your interpretation. I feel like that's what like make the balance of like not overwhelming players, but still create and like emotional impact to the Sky Kids playing this season. Luke, what do you feel
Yeah,
about it?
yeah. That's a great answer, and it's a good question, Tio. I think, just to rephrase the question, make sure I understand it fully. The question is like, um, how do we design for emotions? We try to make very like emotional or stories with a lot of emotional impact while kind of respecting the players, um uh respecting the player's emotions, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think one answer to add to Joey's answer there is that like, um we really one of the really unique things about making seasons for Sky, and also just developing in worlds that already exist and are very rich and deep, and um is that we know that our season doesn't exist in a vacuum, and that your experience of it as a player um, can take so many forms, right? You could say you could happen upon season of Bluebird 2 years from now and play it all through in one go, or you could be playing it now and get a little bite of it, and then take a break, and then a couple days later do a candle run, and then come back and go play music in rain and whatever. So I think we do our best to think about pacing and emotion in arcs throughout the narrative of a season, so that it's not like all full on all the time, right? But that it is as emotionally impactful as we can make it. And then we also, I think there's just a lot of player trust here too, that like if if a story that we're telling like is feeling like too much, or not only hopefully is there like take a breath and go do something else, but also that just in Sky that story exists as a piece of your player story that has all of its own rhythms and arcs and emotions that we don't design for, that come from you and your friends goofing off or whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. Joey, the season has been live for a little while now. I think we're up to quest 2.
Mhm.
What do you hope it to be now that it's live, right? Because we can change what's out, but we can really change anything that we already released, quest 1 and quest 2. How do you hope players receive quest 1 and quest 2, and what are your expectations for the remainder of the season?
Mm. Yeah. First, I hope Sky Kids will play through the whole season. That's the ultimate ask. Secondly, is I couldn't really like from a player perspective, um me myself playing through all the quests and stories, I feel like it make me think of like and reflect what truly matters in life, and what are those things. We don't have a definite answers for that. It's just like if we could like be introspective and thinking of this topic, uh, that would be nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. And how about you, Luke? Now that the season is out, being the lead designer for the season, what do you look for when you go through the interwebs and try to find how players are receiving the season? Is there anything that you look for? Any fan art, discussions, conspiracies that people may be drawing outside for the season?
Yeah, I mean all of the above. What do I look for when I'm sort of looking for community feedback? Like ultimately, I hope people really enjoy it. I hope people have a good time playing it and get something out of it. But the other answer is like all of the above. I love all the fan art. Give it all to me. It's so inspiring and cool.
And
Yeah, we're always looking for it. There have been some really cool cosplay of some of the costumes that we've seen from some of the cosmetics from the season. So yeah, always like so fun to see all the creativity and work from the community. Like that kind of creative response to what we're making is really, I think, at the heart of the conversation between us and the players. And without that, like I don't know, that's the fuel that keeps me going anyway.
I get it. One thing that our players may not be fully aware of is how much we hope to inspire them to be creatives themselves. It's chat. That's something that we discuss almost daily, to be honest, in our internal DMs, is about your own creativity and what you make out of what we're providing. So creativity feeds creativity, and that's really what we all hope to achieve here at TGC, to inspire you to do something beautiful as well. Joey, if
Mhm.
players could take just one message or feeling from this season, what would you hope that would be?
uh yeah, I feel like it's yeah, like the one we I just like thinking of. It's like reflecting on stuff, and trying to think of the stuff that's around us, what we value. I think that's the like the take, at least for me, for this season. Um, yeah.
Oh, Luke and Joey, V on YouTube just said something that is kind of beautiful. They said, I have an excellent comment about the inspiration that we just discussed. They say, I am experiencing art block, but in Sky, I am able to create spaces and play music. Just the world of Sky inspires them to get out, climb out of that block. Thank you for sharing, V. That's very touching to all of us, I'm sure, to Joey and Luke as well.
Yeah, and also like I've been diving in the Sky Discord channel for a while. It's always really inspiring to see all the arts like shared in Discord. And we also like take these arts and share in our company like channel, and to inspire our colleagues too. So yeah, thank you for creating these arts, and we're really inspired and fueled by these.
Luke, one question to you. In your mind, what makes this season a meaningful addition to the world of Sky?
That's a great question. I think I hope this season is a meaningful addition to the world of Sky. I think we've talked, I think there's a lot of meaning in exploring spirits from Sky in a deeper way. I think this is you know players come to Sky for a lot of different things. Not everybody's here for story, but I think a lot of us really like resonated with the storytelling of this world, and the kind of storytelling that TGC tries to do. I think that's what brought a lot of us here, or has kept a lot of us here. And so I think you know it had been a minute since we've done a really story rich season. And so I think anytime we get to add these kinds of stories to Sky, that makes the world deeper and richer. And then I guess I also feel like Sky, in many ways, like this thing that we play together, which is Sky, and that Tio is, these streams are part of, like there's this kind of little society that we all have together of Sky. And I think I hope, and I know that the team hopes, that this is a season that is trying to speak to like some of the concerns of that community, and that society. What do we value, and what brings us joy? And so I hope that in addition to just being a story that we get to tell and add to the world, it's also a story that exists in the world as a response to this Sky community that we all have together, and the things we value and the things we care about.
That's awesome. Sharing more moments of inspiration here. Mirror Glass on Instagram. Sky has been a great inspiration to me since I first downloaded it in 2019. I look forward to many more years of wonder. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Thank you for sharing, Mirror. Question to both of you guys. We are coming close to wrapping this up, chat. So if you guys have any other questions, please go ahead and drop them. We're going to try to collect a few if we have time. Joey and Luke, both. Let's start off with Joey. But what is your favorite moment of working in this season?
For me, for the visual part, I think it's finding the answer for like unifying the whole lineup of cosmetics. I think it's pretty exciting for us to find the answer of adding silver trims, and having like really theatrical silhouettes for the cosmetics. And so, and also like I'm really excited what after the quest like unfold, how players will gradually maybe discover the intention of the designs of the cosmetics. Um, for example, for like quest 2, the theme is about like time and the evolvement of time. And so for the Sparker parents, we have the cape. It's actually shaped like an hourglass, and at the back of the cape, there's like sparklers. And it's to represent the sands like trickling down the hourglass. I feel like that's a really exciting part for me, for players to uh, unveil the intention of like cosmetics, how they are designed in relation to the story of each quest. Yeah, I think that's a really awesome stuff that I'm excited for, and my favorite moment for working on like this season.
Nice. Luke, any favorite moments?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, awesome answer, Joey. Yeah, I'm so inspired by you and everyone on the Wisdom team all the time, and I think those moments where like we really get to dig into the detail and make something with that much care, and where the narrative and the character design and the environment design all kind of work together. That those are always favorite moments. I do have a single favorite moment, but I can't share it here because it would be a spoiler. But I think similarly to what Joey is saying, like some of my favorite moments, always making anything, are moments where making things can like there are the process of making things has its own rhythms, and it's often so full of friction. You're like dragging yourself across the finish line or whatever, but then sometimes things like really click into place and everything everything kind of like you can suddenly see it. And one moment like that was, I think for a long time we were kind of resisting the like full-on theater visuals. We knew we were adapting a play, but for a long time that felt like too on the nose or too literal. And so we kept kind of pushing it, even though like there were signs all the way along that was probably the right. But there was a moment, I think, when we finally were like, no, I think they're on a stage, and I think the season is like taking the form of a play. And that was a good example of a decision where like suddenly then like boom, 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 a bunch of other things fell into place. And those moments are always like really gratifying and really exciting.
It's glorious. For anybody who attempts to create anything at whatever level of your artistic journey you may be in, you guys, yes, it's tough, and that's why not everybody makes things, right? But that one moment that you are, at least me, when I am completely in the zone and time goes by 50 times faster because you're so focused on doing things, those moments are glory. It's what I chase every time I try to play music or make a YouTube video or make anything. I'm just chasing exactly that moment that nothing else matters other than making this. So, yeah.
That's
Not that
awesome,
anybody asked
Teal.
me, but just sharing a little bit of my own perspective as an artist wannabe. Folks.
No, not wannabe. Take it back.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Not wannabe. As the crab I am, I
Yes.
attempt to make my crabby art, and I love the process. I think that's the word that I want chat to get from this conversation. We are closely coming to an end, you guys. Chat, can you guys just please enjoy the process in chat really quick? Because that's a really valuable lesson that we can get from this. Coming up to a close, 2 more questions, and then we wrap up. Joey and Luke, in a single word, what do you guys expect players get from enjoying the season of the Bluebird?
Yeah, I think as the word I also mentioned in the previous questions, I feel like that word will be introspection, to like sum up the whole like season of Bluebird. Yeah, I feel like if we could inspire Sky Kids to like think of the meanings, it would be great. I think we made it in successful season. Luke. How about you?
Yeah, just plus one to what Joey said. I think we really wanted to make something um, resonant and personal and introspective, and so I hope that that's you know, I don't want to presume that we have done that, but I hope that the season can be that for you.
Fantastic. Joey, Luke, any final words, final messages to people watching us now and people watching us later through our VODs? I would like you guys to share a message from the bottom of your hearts to people watching this.
Yeah, I just wanna thank like us to have such a like great community to like I feel like you're so immersed in Sky and you appreciate every like little details we put in. Not only like through designers as a storytelling aspect, but also like our amazing like 3D artists. They put so much like love and the attention to details to the environment. And these are all like make sense because like Sky Kids are so like immersed in these environment. So I just want to like thank like our community and our players to playing our game and loving our game and also creating arts after like playing the game. Yeah.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you all so much for being here and for caring and for like uh, engaging with this thing that we're making with so much care and thoughtfulness and curiosity, and it just means the world, and it really does feel. I know that I speak for a lot of the team when I say that it feels to us like a conversation that we're very honored to have with you, and I hope that we can. I hope that you feel the same. I hope we can, show you that care as well, and also, thanks, Tio. You're the best. These streams are such a joy and a gift to the community, and you rock. Thanks for having us on.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank-
Theo, for always hyping the energy. And
Yes.
maybe next time it's the your stream, your craft Theo drawing stream.
You guys are too kind to me. Thank you. I really, really appreciate every single one of you guys. And as I said, chat, aren't these the sweetest people you could ever meet in your life? Chat, across the board, across all platforms, can you guys please just spam a candle and a heart in appreciation to Luke and Joey? Show that love, show that excitement. And Season of Bluebird has definitely a ton more things coming up for you guys. So stay tuned and we will be with you guys short. Joey, Luke, thank you so much for being with me. I'm gonna wrap this up and I'll be with you guys in just 1 second, okay? I appreciate you guys' time.
Thanks so much.
And that was it, you guys. I absolutely love this too, and every opportunity I have to bring them to stream, you bet I will. I hope you guys had a really nice time. As much of a nice time as I had. It was great. And now I'm gonna try to play once again the trailer for Season of the Bluebird, hoping that this time my big head doesn't get in the way. And in the meanwhile, right after the trailer, I will be wrapping up the stream. So before we do that, I want to say a few thank yous for coming by. Thank you, Shadow Moonlight Plays on YouTube. Iswutitus. Thank you so much for being here with us from YouTube. Swirl's World, That Estrella Sky, That Devil in Sky, Zax the Hedgehog, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Alex on TikTok, Orang Ini Agak Agak, thank you so much for being with us. Lot Daratan, thank you very much for hanging out with Joey, Luke, and myself. Ninang Cat 76 on Instagram, thank you so much. Don't go yet, sorry, we have to, but we appreciate it. Neko 1957 and everybody else who were able to share their lights with us today on this stream. You are mostly appreciated. And now, the trailer of Season of the Bluebird.